Some breaking news early on a Monday to kickstart our week as the Philadelphia Eagles have signed wide receiver DeVonta Smith to a massive contract extension. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Hope your weeks are off to a great start. Probably even better so right now. And as always, thank you so much for joining us. Today's show, by the way, is sponsored by Eat Sleep. Get $200 off their pod cover. In addition to free shipping at eatsleep.com/chatsports. If you want to improve your sleep, no better solution than Eat Sleep. Ian Rappaport breaking the news just moments ago on this Monday morning, and we were anticipating this news. We were expecting it. That's why last week we got out in front of it, and we broke it all down here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. The Eagles have paid another big-time rising player, Rappaport says, this time wide receiver DeVonta Smith. He is getting a 3-year, $75 million contract extension, which includes $51 million in guaranteed money. The deal done by his agency, Clutch Sports, and it keeps Smith in Philadelphia for years to come. Now, this is interesting because it does include the 5th-year option here, so that money is included, and it's going to keep DeVonta Smith in Midnight Green through the 2028 season. So now Philadelphia has this core group of offensive players together for the foreseeable future. Rappaport obviously confirming that here as well with this tweet to my right, that the Eagles in turn also exercising the 5th-year option with the new extension. So through contract, through 2028, one more playmaking star in Philadelphia, all set moving forward. DeVonta Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Jaylen Herz. With this good offensive line, Howie Roseman, thanks to the ownership from Jeffrey Lurie, and Jeffrey Lurie always wants Howie to invest, be aggressive, to put a formidable and competitive team on the football field. That's what you love to see as fans, is that this team every single year has a chance because they always go all in. A lot more to get to here. We're just ramping up on the program. But first, this is why you subscribe to the channel. When breaking news happens, we bring you the latest. We dissect it. We give you great takes. We give you great analysis, and we talk about it all right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. That's a big reason why we are approaching 74,000 subscribers. So Smitty getting paid. Let's go through some of the financial details here. That $15.59 million 5th-year option was picked up and exercised. And then, this is classic Howie Roseman because he's just a salary cap genius and finds ways to get really creative to have these deals be good for the player, but good for the organization. They tack on the 3-year, $75 million extension on top of that. So in totality here, it pretty much shakes out to be a 4-year, $90.59 million extension. And in turn here, Philadelphia has their own team building strategy and philosophy, especially when you factor in these contract extensions. Some teams like to wait until training camp, later in the calendar year, toward the end of the summer, to pay their own homegrown players. The risk in doing that is that the market changes, the market increases, and it resets. The Eagles, on the other hand, like to get out in front of it before the market explodes, because the market is going to explode, and that's why I like the philosophy and the strategy here from Howie Roseman, because DeVonta Smith gets his deal right now, but there are a bunch of other wide receivers across the NFL who are up for contract extensions, and they're going to get paid more than DeVonta Smith. So this is why it's going to be a good value deal for Philadelphia here, where you get Smitty on an average annual value with the extension of $25 million per year, because Justin Jefferson is going to get more than $30 million per. CeeDee Lamb is going to get around $30 million per. The same can be said for Jamar Chase. Now the asking price for Brandon Ayuk starts at least $25 million per year. He's right on par with DeVonta Smith, if not a little bit better in my opinion. T. Higgins is going to get paid, so his asking price goes up. And then the same can be said for a player like Amon-Ra St. Brown. When you look at the highest paid wide receivers per year, and we're not factoring in the 5th-year option here, just the contract extension, 3 years, $51 million in guaranteed money. DeVonta Smith and A.J. Brown are now tied for being the fourth highest paid wide receivers in the National Football League. What does that mean for A.J. Brown moving forward once his deal expires? If he continues to produce and stay healthy, that price tag most likely going to go up. But now you have DeVonta Smith at a very reasonable number. A little bit more than DK Metcalf, a little bit more than Stephon Diggs, more than Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman Jr., Calvin Ridley, and Terry McLaurin. He is certainly worthy of that because he's so valuable to this team. All he's done is produced, and he's been everything that the Eagles could have hoped for since drafting him in the first round in 2021, coming off that Heisman Trophy winning season, and he embodies what the Philadelphia Eagles are about as an organization. If you are pumped up about this skinny Batman extension, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. If you don't like it, and I have a feeling that it's going to be in the minority here, that's fine. You can disagree with me. This is America, baby. I want you to comment why. Coming up next, I'm going to explain why this is a great deal for Philadelphia. We're going to take a look at some fascinating DeVonta Smith numbers. Don't you dare go anywhere, and if you're a real one, you're going to continue to hang out here with us. As I mentioned off the rip, today's Eagles Now is sponsored by 8 Sleep. New sleep to power a whole new you. 8 Sleep, the high-tech solution to your age-old sleeping issues. The Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing heating and cooling technology that keeps you comfortable and sleeping deeper for a better, more restful night. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The science, the technology behind this, absolutely fascinating. And the cover can be added to any bed, just like that fitted sheet. It allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. I invested in the Pod 3 cover because investing in your sleep leads to a healthier lifestyle. I'm all about longevity, health, and wellness. I want to be around for a very, very long time, and sleep will allow you to do that. In addition to keeping you at the perfect temperature all night, the pod also tracks your sleep and health metrics, and on average, pod users see their sleep quality improve by 32% after just 1 month on the pod. You can control everything right from the power of your own phone. This is the intelligent sleep system. Let's get to this now. Why it's a great deal for Philadelphia. I mentioned some of the reasons already, but furthermore, most importantly, DeVonta Smith has been consistently available, and he has consistently produced for the Eagles. They have this long, awful, dubious history of missing on wide receivers in the NFL draft. They finally hit on DeVonta Smith coming out of Alabama. Year one, he's the number 1 wide receiver as a rookie on a rebuilding team and develops a great relationship with quarterback Jaylen Herz. 64 catches, 916 yards, 5 touchdowns. Year 2, career season for him, sets the record for the most receptions for a wide receiver in franchise history in his sophomore campaign. And then 7 touchdowns in addition to nearly 1,200 yards. And in 2023, Eagles offense struggled, but he still produced a lot. 14 less catches, but still more than 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. So there's been consistency as far as the availability. 17 games played, and 16 games played. He's tough as nails, plays bigger than his size. He's a great team leader, very well respected, but the production has been consistent, and I think it's only going to continue on that trajectory. So why I like the deal. Eagles finally hit on a wide receiver in the draft. Howie Roseman, this has been one of his blemishes, one of his weaknesses in drafting wide receivers, from Jalen Reagor to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to Josh Huff. The list goes on and on and on, where they've spent premium draft capital on the wide receiver position, yet they've consistently missed. They hit on DeVonta Smith. He's a core member of this organization as a whole. And for this offense, he's consistently been available. He's consistently produced. He earned this contract extension, and it was good for Philadelphia to reward him with this bag. Point number 2, you keep this offensive core together. Now under contract for the foreseeable future for a team that is living happily in the Super Bowl window is your quarterback in Jaylen Herz, a franchise running back in Saquon Barkley, a top-tier tight end in Dallas Goedert, a number one wide receiver in A.J. Brown, who in his first 2 years in Philadelphia has put together two of the best wide receiving seasons for any player in franchise history. And then the 1B to your 1A is DeVonta Smith. DeVonta Smith also embodies the Eagles' way. On the field, a cold-blooded killer, an assassin, all about that business. He's all about improving his craft, getting in the lab, great route runner, great hands, tough. With those 50-50 balls, he plays bigger than his size. He's a deep threat, can be a perimeter X wide receiver. He can play in the slot. I think the Eagles with Kellen Moore are going to be able to unlock him a little bit more because they barely ran crossers or in-breaking routes. They're going to do that with DeVonta Smith, matching him up against slower slot nickel cornerbacks as well as linebackers. And then off the field, this guy is a leader because he's about that business. Point number 4, this is solid value for DeVonta Smith because he's now the 4th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL going into year 4, but for Philadelphia because they get out ahead of the market and a wide receiver market that is going to explode and reset once again as it has over the last couple of years once Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase and Brandon Ayuk get paid. And then you keep this wide receiver duo together for your franchise quarterback. You're paying him more than $50 million in Jaylen Herz. You want to do everything that you can to surround him with the great supporting cast and a foundational base from owner Jeffrey Lurie to general manager Howie Roseman to Nick Sirianni and this coaching staff by hiring Kellen Moore and moving off of a guy in Brian Johnson, who Jaylen Herz has known forever, who his dad coached in high school. That was a difficult, emotional decision, but you're bringing in an offensive coordinator with a lot of play calling experience, with chops in this league, who has consistently had a top 5 overall offense. And not only are you making Hertz's job easier in his development as a quarterback with the better play caller, but you're surrounding him with the great offensive line, a great running game, and then a plethora of targets to throw the football to. And you will be hard-pressed to find many wide receiver duos who are this productive, this available, this talented, and this dangerous on every single down than A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith. You are doing what good businesses do. Good businesses hire great people at the top, and then that trickles down, and you fortify that business culture, and you hire great employees on top of that, and you have this contingent of camaraderie, of continuity, of synergy. And what does that lead to? A flawless business plan, flawless execution every day, a good workplace, and then in turn, you are producing good results, and the Eagles here supporting their franchise quarterback. Let's bring in producer Chip, Bucks County's finest, a diehard Eagles fan for his entire life, and the producer here on Philadelphia Eagles. Now, your thoughts here. We talked about it last week. We foresaw this coming, but now that it's official, what kind of crossed your mind, Chip?
To me, it's real simple. Go to organizations, do what they need to do to keep premium players at premium positions.
Yep.
And DeVonta Smith is just that, and he's still so young, right? He's been so good since they drafted him, and he's only going to get better. And remember, the Eagles traded up to get this guy. He's been on their radar. They went out and got their guy. To me, it's just a no-brainer, right? You don't let players like this walk out of the door. And it's not just his on-the-field production, because he's been great, right? He's going to be getting paid like a top 10 receiver. I believe he can easily have an argument for a top 10 receiver and only go up. But by all accounts, he's a great person. When we see clips of him posted on social media, he's funny, he's lighthearted, but he's about his business. He does his job. He knows what it takes. This man's out there at receiver, one of the skinniest guys in the league, but makes some of the most incredible catches I've ever seen. I always go back to that one catch he had against Washington. Going up, high porting it, coming down, right in his back.
So good on the sideline, too.
Doesn't matter. He's so good in all aspects. He really is a number one who just happens to be sort of a 1B number 2 on this team. It's a no-brainer. Howie doing what he does best, man, and I'm so excited to see DeVonta Smith for the next 5+ years.
You mentioned his age 26 season, the body control, the ball awareness when the ball is mid-flight. Again, playing bigger than his size. He's so fun to watch. And teams across the NFL are stacking up at the wide receiver spot in an offensive-laden era, as that has become an increasing important element for a football team. So help us congratulate DeVonta Smith. Type Smitty down in the comment section. Skinny Batman getting a fat bag. We'll catch you next time here on Eagles Now. More content to come throughout the rest of the day, rest of the week, because this is what we do here on the show.